to me and said I needed to mind my own business if I knew what was good for me. Then, like a good cop, bad cop rolled into one, he tried to confide in me, saying, "Look, what do you want? These people are animals, you know? You should see how they live, how they choose to live. It's disgusting." Before I could come up with an answer, he'd moved on. But I don't know if there'd have been much point in speaking up anyway. I don't think Sajid would have thanked me, or any of the others. Conditions were bad enough without dragging my stupid shit into the equation. But let me tell you, with 2 months down and nearly 22 to go, I was sick to my stomach of the whole fucking place. Jesus, Danny. I say nothing for a moment. Funny how 2 little words can be so loaded, so nuanced, so ambiguous. There is sympathy in them, of course, but also confusion, and not a little dread. Kate isn't going to judge me for not speaking up. Not yet. She knows how to hold her own counsel. It's in her head, though. I can see it in her eyes. It went on the same way for a while, I say. Weeks and weeks. Sajid would talk to me, or I'd hear stuff from some of the others, a couple of the line cooks, Kenyan guys I'd bullshit around with when there was a break in service. Technically, it was none of my business, and there wasn't much I could do about it anyway, but it bugged me. I suppose it's naive to think of war as anything other than a form of business, but this particular war seemed to be run exclusively by pricks at head office with boxes to tick and targets to meet. Like how many people you can fit into a fucking shipping container at night, for instance. Or what's the least amount of rice you can distribute to the maximum number of mouths. I pause at this point and glance down at my shoes. I guess I'm stalling. So about a month ago, I go on, looking up again. There was a riot at the base. A riot? Yeah, more or less. No other word for it. 300 people were lined up for dinner in this compound at the rear of the base, and about halfway through they just ran out of food. That was it. There was nothing left. And it was apparently the 2nd or 3rd time it had happened in the space of a few weeks, so empty plates, empty bellies, no prize for guessing what comes next. Kate leans forward, eyebrows furrowed. Let me get this straight. This wasn't the main dining place, right, where you worked. This was their... Yeah, it was a separate facility, a separate arrangement. But that's what it's like there, the whole base. It's a fucking patchwork of subcontracts and outsourcing. What probably happened is that someone at a computer terminal somewhere 3,000 miles away basically made a mistake filling out an order form for supplies. Now, we had plenty of food in our stores. It's just that... Oh, Jesus. Gideon weren't about to simply hand their shit out like they were a relief agency or something. So about 8 or 10 of the TCNs, to start with anyway, stormed into the manager's office and demanded more rice or bread or whatever the fuck was available. The manager flipped, said they had no right to demand anything. He started screaming. Soon they were screaming. It went back and forth. Then someone got pushed, and it just erupted. In less than a minute, half a dozen young guys were smashing the place up. Furniture, desks, filing cabinets, windows, computers. More joined in, and it spilled outside, where there were now at least 100 others lined up waiting. Then it spread throughout the camp. All of these hungry fucking people rampaging around, throwing rocks and swinging lead pipes they'd found. A bunch of them, including Sajid, broke into the main DFAC storerooms and started taking stuff and passing it along a chain to the outside. Then Sajid, with 2 others, managed to get one of the big walk-in freezers open, which didn't make any sense because all the stuff in there was frozen, obviously, by definition, so what use was that going to be? But I guess by this stage it was more frustration and rage running the show than actual hunger. Where were you during this? Did you see everything? At the start of it, I was half asleep in my little bee hut listening to music. Then I heard noises outside, screams, glass breaking. I got up, headed out, and made straight for the kitchens. And just as I was getting there, to the storerooms, to the walk-in freezer, several heavily armed guards, Gideon security guys, were showing up. At first it was chaotic and confusing, but with Sajid and the other 2 now more or less cornered,